Hola, hola. It's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome, and I am here to remind you. I'm a confidence coach, and I'm a bold stand for confidence, and I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Okay, my friends. Welcome to the podcast. Look who's here.
Hi. So excited to be here.
In the flesh. And
in the flesh, in real life.
Look at this. Kemi, congratulations. March 1st, your next baby, Power.
Thank you. It's very excited to have this book out in the world now. It's been an endeavor, and it's exciting to have it out in the world.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. How many books now?
This is my third book.
Oh. Yeah. Okay, so Kemi was on the podcast before. It was on Zoom because we couldn't hang out in the flesh, and so I'm a little bit very excited everywhere that she is here physically, and I could touch her, and I could touch her book, which just came out, and my copy is on its way. I might steal hers, but that's okay. Tell us about this. It just came out on the 1st of March.
Yes, it is called Power, A Woman's Guide to Living and Leading Without Apology. I think this is a woman that does that, so I'm so excited to have this time with Erica. And actually, when I first spoke on the podcast, we just became friends straight away. We have actually seen each other in real life.
Yes, we've had lunch.
We've had lunch in the park. One of the
peanut butter cafe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other story. But the book is a book of our times. I believe that because I kind of listened to the whisper that became a shout around how we as women have so many more opportunities now, but the opportunities outside of ourselves, our internal voice doesn't always match the opportunities that we can create for ourselves or that we can say yes to that are offered to us.
And you know that this whole podcast is about women standing in their voice, reclaiming their confidence, empowered women.
Yes.
And what I love about you, when I read this, when I saw the subtitle, I was like, that's Kemi. To me, and I said this to you recently in our friendship. We talk on the phone. We'd be like, hey, how you doing? She checks in. And I said to her, one of the biggest things of you that you've given me is the way you live. Like you have boundaries, healthy. You are strong. You say what you think. You don't have an apology. You don't apologize for taking up space, which we're going to get into because it's in the book and I love it. You are it. Like, honestly, with all my kids, like you have taught me just by being in my life. And like, you're a great influence as a woman in my life.
Aww.
I do. I'm like, I want to be like Kemi when I grow up.
But I think that's the thing about having supportive, powerful women around us is that I do have boundaries in my life and I do live, I live by my values, but it's because of the life that I've lived prior to this. And I know that it's similar for you. It's like for those of us that, and I'm not unapologetic all the time. I'm English by birth and, English, we just say sorry all the time, even if we don't mean to, for no reason. We just wake up and say sorry. And then being a woman, it can be really easy to always be apologizing for our presence. And then to be a woman of color, add that in, there's a lot of apology that I have had to work through. And, that now as a 47-year-old woman that I can put it down the ways that I've had to apologize in my life and the way that I have stopped apologizing. And this idea of power for me, Erica, what you represent for me is your ability to own your story. How the book Power is broken up into a power acronym. So it's presence, ownership, wisdom, equality, and responsibility. And for me, you embody all of that. I have never seen you as someone that apologizes for who you are, your experiences, what you give, and what you're here to be.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
I was like, I
don't think I've ever said that on a podcast before.
See?
It's very intimate.
There you go.
Turn the camera
there you go, spoonful of Sarah and Emma. She loves me. Just kidding. Hey, we got the lights on. We're ready to go. I really, 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 really think what a crazy time too is International Women's Day. She was a little bit savvy. This one too. And you're going on tour.
I am going everywhere. on tour. I'm on a plane. I am getting on a plane
tomorrow.
Gosh. I am so excited. Tomorrow. I'm excited, but I'm also, am I actually going to get on a plane? because there's a lot going on in the world, and especially with weather patterns.
Oh, yes.
Who knows? But I think what we've all learned over the last couple of years is that we can kind of deal with things changing in a moment. Yeah.
We can deal with everything.
We can deal with the things.
So we're going to put in the show notes the links if you want to get tickets to go. You can see her in person. She's a freaking, this is how I met you. And I talked about it in the other podcast.
Yes.
As I was like a little kid watching going, I love her. Like I was far away. And you were on the stage far away in the expo center.
Yes.
And I was like a little kid in the back, like couldn't get to the front. And I was just like, I love her. Who is she? I've seen her before. And just your presence, which I know is one of, her presence. Like you can see when a woman is powerful and believes in themselves and is confident and feels good and is present with you. And you were present with all, I don't know, 500 or something, 1,000 of us that were in that room. And I just was like, I need to know about her. Like you drew me in from, I was very far away. I just want to make sure you understand, almost outside. And I was like,
standing room only. But I think this idea of power, I think it's important that I share why that word, because so many women, when we hear that word power, it is not necessarily a positive experience for many of us. We've experienced, we've experienced what Brené calls power over. So we've experienced that kind of domination. We've experienced the form of power that is only allowed for a few people, which are mainly white men. Now, I'm married to a white man, okay, and I've given birth to a biracial man as well, who's going to be 18 in 7 days.
Gosh.
So, this isn't about, all white men are bad men.
Yeah.
Not at all. But there has definitely been a structure put in place where whiteness and maleness has been the form of power that most of us have experienced.
Yep.
This book is about us looking at what is a power that we create within us as women, and that through history and through time, women have held power. It's why we were burnt at the stake. It is why there are certain violences against women that have been used to make us powerless because of the power that we carry.
Yeah.
So there's a real fear for us to stand in our power and own who we are and own our stories. And yet, around the world, starting with Tarana Burke and the Me Too movement, looking at Grace Tame here in Australia, around the world now, and even the First Lady of the Ukraine said the power of this war comes from the faces and the resistance of women. So in different ways, in different areas around the world, it is women owning our voices and supporting each other that builds our power. And I also want to say to that, it's not that I have built my power and tomorrow I will be powerful forever.
Yeah.
Or that Erica has built her internal power and she'll be powerful forever. Life happens to all of us. We will get knocked down. As a Black woman living in a majority white environment, I can walk into it, not so much now because of how I feel in myself, but I can walk into a room and know in a moment, I am not welcome here.
Yeah.
I do not belong here. And the energy in this room is one that says to me, get out of here. That will happen again and again in my lifetime. But now I choose to walk out of those rooms. I don't want to belong in those rooms.
Yeah.
I own my power by leaving, not by trying to make myself something to stay in those places.
That's so good. And if you're watching or listening to this, start thinking about when you hear the word power, what do you think? Because I can really hear how you've worked through so much and transmuted that word, because instantly when I think power, I think governmental, I think old man, I think Donald Trump, I think man on top of you, not sexually, but even that. But
or
I
even
think,
that, though.
But from my head, it goes like rich, white suit.
Yeah, 100%.
And I see that when you said that, I was like, what do I think about the word power?
Yeah, and yet the Oxford Dictionary definition of the word power is the ability to act or do something in a particular way. That is it.
What?
The ability to do something or act in a particular way. And I have in this book, The Power of Beliefs is one of the chapters, and the power of stories, because this idea that power was exactly what you just said, it's all been made up. It's not true. And yet men have believed it, to the detriment of men as well, because it means that they're caged in what a powerful man is.
Yeah.
And definitely to the detriment of women. We've believed it, and it's in our DNA and it's in our blood to believe it. It's why it can be really scary to own our voices. I think one of the biggest power moves that we have seen recently was Grace Tame not smiling.
The side-eye girl.
Just in her power. I will stand here in my belief, in my integrity, and I will not smile. And I've had that as a Black woman of like, I've got to appear not threatening. I've got to make sure that I smile. and just deciding
to make you comfortable.
Yeah,
like, no.
It's like I'll smile, I'll even laugh when it's authentic to me and when I feel it. Not
if you're funny. If you're not, I will leave.
Funny.
Yeah, I'm out. I want my money back.
I come from a generation of like Monty Python. So if you're not funny, I'm not laughing. You've got to be Monty Python funny.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, we're out. So that's interesting too. What power? So why this book and why now? Because this is the book.
Well, I feel like as someone that trained in yoga, and I remember when I used to be a yoga teacher, and I felt very much as a teacher in front of the room, I am channeling. I am here as a physical embodiment of something, but what is coming out of me and what I'm teaching is something that is bigger and larger than me. When I got the sense to write this book, first of all, it scared me because as soon as I got the word power as the title, the next thing that came into my head was, who the hell do you think you are to write a book about power?
Did you hear that? That happened. That happens to us. And
happens.
You didn't listen.
No, because, I did listen and I thought, it's me.
Book. Yeah. Here comes the book out of me.
Here it comes.
Fuck,
I'm going to write this book. And I suppose now I feel that sometimes the universal conversation or the energetic conversation is that because I was told this is the book for now and I decided to go with the whisper.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like it's coming out of you.
Yeah, it came out of me and it was challenging in some ways because I was locked in my house for 2 years because, Melbourne, most locked down city in the world.
We won an award.
But also in some ways it was a gift to be able to have the time and the space to write the book because that was my focus during that time.
And we talked about how she likes writing and how I like talking and I don't like writing. But you inspire me because you've written many books on different things as well because you're When I met Kemi, I was like, oh my God, this is in common and this is in common. You're not a Gemini. No.
That's
the only thing.
Lion.
Okay. You're Leo. You just had your...
But I don't have a mane of hair.
That's okay. It's in here. Yeah. It's in here.
A lion? It's in here. I think that's more like a meerkat.
Maybe a T-Rex. We are powerful over here, okay? There's something that you say in the book, a beautiful quote. We are prepared. We got paper. So if you hear that, that is that. It's not my e-tag today beeping, okay? I'm usually mobile doing this in the car.
Yeah, that's
beep,
right.
just honking at people, owning my power in the car. So you say there is power in taking up space and being seen. There is power in allowing others to see you with all your human imperfections. That is, and I feel that now for myself. I feel like it's now a piece of the threads in my body. But that, if I would have read that, I would have been like, holy, how do I even get there? So can you speak to that? Because so many, I believe, listeners, watchers, women that are hearing this are like, how do I take up space and how do I allow others to see me imperfectly as I am?
Yeah. The reality is that there is no such thing as perfection. I think the only place where we can possibly maybe find that is in nature. When you look at the perfection of a leaf or the perfection of a flower, that is it. But as human beings, we don't connect with people that give us a veneer of what they think perfection is. And I talk about in the book as well. I can honestly say I've never suffered from perfectionism or I've never been challenged with that. I know that a lot of people are.
Yeah.
I have always kind of attested to good enough is enough. Being of service imperfectly is better than not being of service at all. But I know that for me, the idea of if there was this perfect person, whatever that person was, I just don't think I'd have fun with them.
Yeah.
I just think they'd be really boring.
Yeah.
Because what are you going to engage
cuticles look
on?
amazing.
Yeah,
That's about it.
Or you can sort of say, you're perfect. Yeah. It's a very short conversation. But I wouldn't feel that I could show up with that person in my humanity. And even though I say sort of imperfections in the book, I kind of mean your humanity.
Yeah.
That we need to allow ourselves to be seen by people. We need to be able to say, I am struggling. Or we need to be able to say, I am successful. Like, my life is working right now, or life isn't working and I feel like I'm drowning. And that this idea that we have to hold the whole of the world on our shoulders makes us feel powerless. Asking for help and sharing what's going on is powerful because it connects us and it's that moment of presence. I can be present to your humanity and you can be present to mine. That is power.
Oh, do you feel that maybe the fear of taking up space and seeing ourselves with our own imperfections or others seeing us is because you're a coach, an amazing coach, and you see all these clients that are scared to go for that payroll, go for that job, raise up. Do you feel that there's a connection of, if I haven't seen myself and accepted myself, how can I allow others to?
100.
We know. Oh, well, let me tell you. I know. It's like inside going, yes, if you're asking that question, girl, rewind.
We cannot give to others that we can't give to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, so it's this. So for me as a coach, and I've been coaching for a decade now, I have always had my own coach because I have to grow. I have to be in my own work to be able to create the space for other people to authentically do their own work. It is one of the gifts of coaching that I have to kind of keep doing my own work, you know? And so, you know, if we're harsh on ourselves, we're harsh on other people. If we are kind to ourselves, we're kinder to other people. That's how it works. And yet we're harsh to other people because that's become a survival mechanism, because we've had to be, you know, for whatever reason. I believe that every single behavior that we have has come from something. We need to get curious about that, you know, and then we need to get curious around this belief or this behavior. Does it serve me now for the person that I want to be moving forward? What do I need to do to let go of that story so that I can create a new one going forward?
That's so true, because maybe it worked back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I reckon we don't have it unless it worked.
Yeah.
Whatever
like
it is, whatever it is.
Protected you, helped you, and now it's like,
it helped you to
that
survive.
tool is rusty.
Yeah, 100%. Like for me, I can speak as a Black woman who was fostered my whole childhood by white families. I knew that I had to not be seen, which is ironic because I was the only Black person in the room. But my experience of myself was be kind, be nice, do not rock the boat, say thank you, say please, have manners, be a good Black girl. That worked. But there came a point when I realized I'm not experiencing life.
Yeah.
Like I'm not showing people who I am. This idea of not having an opinion about things served me. It definitely did, but no longer. And so I need to explore that, break that apart, and create a new story that I'm allowed to be seen, I'm allowed to take up space, and I'm allowed to have a voice. And when I do, as someone that looks like me, it gives permission for other women to do the same.
I freaking love this. And I feel like when you talk about the acronym, it gives you like a bit of a roadmap. When you were thinking about making power, did you think it's going to be an acronym, or were you just like, I got the word, give me some more charades, universe, that word, power?
It was a little bit of some of the practices that I have around presence. So I was writing the stories first. So I had the word power. I knew the book was going to be called Power. And I just started writing the stories. Stories, asking past and present clients for their stories around their feelings of powerlessness and how they step in and out of their power. And then one night I was like, part of this structure is in the word and I don't know what it is. So I just wrote down the word power. And I just knew that part of the structure is in the word. That was all I knew.
That's great.
I just wrote it down, put it by my bed, woke up the next morning, was in my meditation, and it just came. Presence, ownership, wisdom, equality, responsibility. Bam.
Wow.
Just knew it. And I think there's that thing when we listen to that whisper or that voice, that the universe does support you and give you the answers along the way, but you have to be willing to step in to then get all of that information as you're traveling.
Well, you're taking up that space, you're owning that word, and you're not questioning, is it perfect enough? Is that the right R? Is that the right O? You fully trust.
Yeah, I just knew. And then it was a case of bringing the stories and the power processes. So there are coaching prompts and questions through the book, and each of those come from each of the stories. So it's kind of like, where do you not tap into your wisdom? Where are you afraid of being seen? Who are the people or the person that you feel powerless when you're around, and why? And that's a big one.
That's a fucking question.
It's a big one.
Say it again.
Who are the people that you feel powerless around? And it changes for each woman. So for women of colour, it can be when you're in a room over the majority and you just feel, I don't belong here, I'm being looked at, and you know that you're being looked at.
And the phone's on, and we're going to leave it because it's real. And that's what happens. Hey, she's popular. She's selling her book, okay? People want the copies. Where's my book?
That is so bizarre.
That's great.
Because my phone is never on. But we're going to go with it.
It's on.
Imperfect.
Yes.
Imperfect. Do you feel any panic around the phone?
Man,
no panic.
These poor people, they have my hoop hitting the microphone. My e-tech, you didn't pay it. Maybe you think I'm broke. I don't care. It's all good.
Yeah. So different women. I remember when I was running an event for women, and there was a woman that is in a much larger body, and she says, whenever I see a woman who is aesthetically ticks the boxes, she feels powerless. You know, an older woman can feel powerless around younger women. Younger women can feel powerless around someone, you know, that has more academic achievement than they do. It happens all the time. The power comes from knowing.
Yeah.
The power doesn't come, and this is the thing about this idea of power, that it's not about this kind of, this suit that we put on of like, I am powerful. It's not that. It's like, when do I feel powerless? Why? Where does that come from? And what is the work I need to do to build my power back up in this situation?
Seriously, if you just go to that page and fill that shit out, that's it. Like, that's really it.
Yeah, just even that.
Because we don't even know.
We don't even think about it.
We don't even understand. No. We just feel something and then we're like, avoid.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And I think we feel something and we internalize it and we think it's us, you know, and I think that's what's so affirming about women sharing their stories. I actually had a journalist interviewing me, a woman of colour, the other day, and much younger, like 20 years younger than me, so in her mid-20s, and she said to me, reading the book affirmed why I feel the way that I do. And reading the book made me realise it's not about me. It's about the structures that have been put in place to make me feel that way. And then similar with, you know, an Anglo woman, you know, executive, top role, she said, reading the book for me made me realise why I feel the way that I do in certain meetings. Why I say, and I share in the book, I was working with a woman in tech, you know, a leader in tech, and when she spoke, and this is about the power of language, and I talk about this, the power of words, that she would always say, I think this in the meetings. And I said to her, I said, do you know what you're talking about? And she said, what do you mean? I said, because you say I think, but what I understand is that you know.
Yeah.
You know. So then we worked on how she used her language. So, and I said, why do you do that? And she said, because I know that as a woman in tech 20 years ago, I had to say in rooms of men, I think.
Yeah.
Because I knew that if I said, I know that, who does she think she is? Yeah. She goes, but now as a leader, 20 years on in my career, I don't need to do that. So once again, I had to. It was a behavior.
Yeah.
But now I don't need to. And she said, and I don't want the women coming up behind me in this industry to think that they have to apologize by saying, I think. So then we looked at, I said, let's brainstorm. What are the other things you can do? She said, I know. And she said, oh my God, I feel that feels scary. But I do know. I've been in this industry for 20 years. In my opinion, I believe, as opposed to I think. And I think the only time that we use I think is when we're actually thinking. You know, when we're actually like, I think
we should have this
maybe
for
we
dinner.
could something. Yeah. Exactly. But it's like, I know that if we take that action in this project, this is going to be the outcome. And it is not the right outcome for our company.
Yeah. It's like stepping into that belief of what you already know and who you are.
It's ownership and it's wisdom.
It's ownership and wisdom.
Yeah.
Gotta memorize these.
Were you going to punch me?
I like responsibility. No, I'm just like dancing salsa over here with my Cuban outfit, you know?
Love the outfit.
I'm just like, okay, my favorite is responsibility.
Yep.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I just love it. And my least favorite, not least favorite, like I don't like it, but the thing I struggle with most is presence.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? So I'm like at the end of the word, like, responsibility, but I love presence. And you say in the book, being fully present is a way to experience being fully human. Mm-hmm. And we be thinking and we be in our heads and we don't get into I don't know if anybody listening here is meditating. Like Kemi meditates and gets the wisdom. I get my wisdom in the shower. That's where it comes from.
Can be meditation.
And my driving. That's what happens. I'm like, but it's interesting because if I don't make time for not presence with people, I love people being in people, drinking people up by myself, my own presence. I used to really struggle with silence. Yep. And I used to struggle with the space between. Like, okay, should we fill the space and say something? Yeah. Now I'm like, okay here. Yeah. So with the presence, how can somebody understand, first of all, that they're not present with themselves to then be, because, you know, if you're in a room and you want to say something, you're conscious of what are they going to think of me? You're not with yourself.
You're not present. Yeah. Look, there's so much that I think in one way, there's the kind of physiological being present and the access that we all have to that is our breath, you know. Yes. Is to just breathe, and I say that knowing that a lot of people do not give themselves even time to breathe, which is why when people then take on breath work or yoga or meditation, they're just like, oh my gosh.
I'm crying in my yoga class.
You know, because you're present. Yeah. And I remember running a retreat one year and we were just going to do like a 5-minute meditation. It was I think we started with 1 minute, then 2 minutes over 7 days, because these were people that had never experienced any form of meditation. I don't believe that meditation is the be-all and end-all of life at all. There are so many tools in the world, and we get to choose whatever. You know, I don't like it when people say, this is the one way, and if you don't.
No.
Because then it has people feeling guilty about meditation. It's like, I don't think that the monks that started meditation want people to be feeling bad about not meditating. You know?
No.
If it's helpful, it's helpful, but breath definitely. But I think a clue, and I talk about this, the world does not need more busy women. It needs present and powerful women. And so as women, it's so easy for us to think that busy is our currency, busy is our worth, being available is what is wanted of us. That is how we get our sense of achievement and our sense of value. Yeah. And that means that we are running around all the time. And the narrative underneath that is, I don't have time for myself. I don't know who I am. I feel lost. I'm resentful. I'm angry. I'm exhausted. But if we can actually just take the time, it's taking the time, taking it, not waiting, it's not coming. It's carving it out. It's owning it, owning that I am allowed to be here for myself.
Ownership,
it's ownership, that I own myself first. That if I don't own myself first, other people are going to take my time and take my energy. And responsibility, it's not their fault. It's not them. When we have this narrative of why are they asking me? Why are they making me? What? No. It's just that at the moment there are no boundaries in place. That you're basically saying, you can treat me like that. It's not a problem. Go for it. They're not doing anything wrong. It's not until we say, actually, I've just realised that's actually not okay with me. Or actually, no, I can't do that thing. I'd love to, but I can't. Or I wouldn't love to, and I can't. But until we're present to what we need and what matters to us and our energy levels and our capacity, you know, we're just going to constantly feel that we are at the mercy of things outside of us and actually want to build the power within us.
And then that's where the power is given out. You're powerless.
It comes from this. And it's regenerative, you know, that it's, if it's built from within, it's not an external, it's not a title. I have worked with people that have the title of power. They do not feel that power inside. And I also know people that have a deep sense of power, do not have title. But this power that's inside is regenerative because we build it, you know, we can build it again and again. And that's what I hope the acronym does is that, okay, I feel powerless. What is it? I'm not present. That's what, I feel powerless. What is it? I'm not taking ownership of that's what it is. When that person said that to me, I didn't say, hey, that's not okay to say that. Actually, my experience is, you know, A, B, C, or D. And in that moment of taking ownership for your experience, you build your power back up again.
The thing with ownership that, I don't know if you see this, but I hear women, and I know you talked about people pleasing as well in the book. It's like we're scared to be mean and say, and that's the whole, because you're also queen of boundaries. Because if you want to learn boundaries, you got an amazing program. We'll link it in the show notes below. Seriously, you are amazing. It's not a preference. This is what happens. And I feel like the ownership, the power gets taken away because we won't, or we don't, or we question, should I say no? Does that make me mean? And when I met you, you were always like, nope, we're doing this. I'm doing that. I don't want to do that. Sure, we can do that. Like straight away as a friend. You really taught me who you are, what you're about, what you're not about, what's okay, what's not okay, what's okay now, but may not be okay later. I remember we had that conversation too. It's okay now, but who knows about later? Just want to put it out there. And I'm like, damn, like this is me and how we run things. And I want you to know that so that when you mess with me, you know who I am. And you gave that, you own that, where a lot of people, I think, get scared, like that's going to make them mean, or they're going to look like the mean, angry Puerto Rican chick or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I do know what you're saying. But once again, that has come from my experience of not doing that. You know, that this is what growth and personal development is that I came from a place of not being that because I felt like I had to be nice to everyone all the time and all those sorts of things. So that comes from, and the thing is that I'm now at a point, my friendships are so important to me. My girlfriend friendships are so important to me. And so I want people to know straight, because I'm literally like a 5-year-old. I'm like, I want to be your friend. Can we be friends?
I love you.
Like, I really like you. I resonate with you. This is who I am. Does that resonate for you or not?
Yes.
And for me, the gift is that when I am with people, they know that I am there because I want to be there. I'm not there by accident. Like, this isn't by accident. When we meet, I'm not like
marketing promo.
It's not. No, 100%. No. I was driving here actually thinking, I am so blessed. You know, that comes to being responsible and taking ownership. And it's in wisdom actually around values. It's when we realize what we value. And one of my core values is connection. So in sharing this book with the world, I'm only saying yes to opportunities where I feel a connection, either because I know the person or I'm connected to the organization or the work that they're doing. Because otherwise I will feel resentful turning up at random places, having to talk, and I'd be just there going, why am I here? You don't care. I don't know you. What is the point?
Yes.
Whereas that has not been my experience at all. But it comes back to taking the time to be present to what is important to me and who are the people that I want to spend my time with, because we're here for a short time.
Yeah. I know you talk, and unapologetic. As
unapologetic.
Well, which I promise you, it's from you. When I met you, I think the boundaries, the being who you are, saying what you mean. I don't know even if you know, but it's helped me in my life. Like in my day to day, I'm like, you come into my head and I'm like, oh yes, like you're the example of that. You know, like maybe for me, Instagram stories, I could be your example, and Tina could be the reels dancing, and you know. But like for me, you, it's like, oh, actually, no, I don't. And I've noticed that how it feels like, oh, that feels a little bit like I wanted to say yes, but then I meant no, but then I said no, and then it was like.
But I feel, but that's the thing. That's what I love about our friendship, is because when I speak to you, sometimes I'm like, oh, God, it's going to take me a few days to just. That was a lot there, because I'll ask Erica a question about a thing. She's like, right, there's this and there's this and there's this, and you
sent you 4 links.
And I'm like, wow, yeah, that is so
While
true.
we were talking,
she just like bombs me, links this, and I'm like, wow. And I love that though. I love it because I know where it comes from, and because we're different in that one. I think that's what we give each other.
Yeah,
that is what we give each other. Like I'm just like, so then I'll have a conversation, and I'm normally gardening, I know, when I talk to you, because once again I'm like, can I have a conversation with Erica? I want to be present to that. I want to be in beauty so I can really receive what you have to give.
I love that.
So then once we put the phone down, I like go back to my weeding, and I'm processing everything and I'm like, okay, what has resonated with me? What hasn't resonated with me? What do I want to respond to? And I feel that is part of the reverence that we have in this relationship that I'm so grateful for.
I love that. It's really powerful. Yeah. It is powerful.
Yeah, and really I think even in, look, you know, I'm like a capsule wardrobe. I wear 4 colours. That's it. Very classic. And then there's Erica, unapologetically, full out in a pink room, gold earrings, shirt, and it works.
Yeah, I was going to put a hat on, but then I was like, it'll be too much now.
No, I've got my hat.
My pink shoes.
We'll wear the hat. We'll have to wear our hats. I've got like a black trilby. What's your hat?
I got that one. I got a cheetah hat.
There you go.
I think the cheetah hat would be great.
Would be perfect.
We got to do cheetah hats. Yeah. Yes, we got
unapologetic.
Exactly.
Unapologetic, and it all works. And I talk about the power of community, and I say in that chapter, as women, we do not need to understand each other. We don't even need to like each other. We don't even need to get each other. Yes. But the fact that we navigate the world as this gender is enough for us to stand together as a community.
Yeah. It's so powerful, too, because you see other people doing their thing, and when they see you, they're like, oh, I want some of that. I want to... who is it? I don't know if it's... I'm really bad with quotes. I don't know if it's Plato or Socrates or one of those old people.
One of those blokes.
One of those dudes that said... I'm 95% Plato, and Socrates is like, I'm 95% this person. Yeah. And I'm like, I love that, because people that you meet, when you see a woman, empowered woman that's out there, instead of the, which people that don't do the work, we get the jealousy, we get the projection, the envy. Yeah. But when you're doing your work and you're sure of yourself, you appreciate. You're like, I appreciate that in her, and I want it to appreciate in me. And you know, so we have to be the light here so people can see us.
Like, 100%. And I think that's the thing as well, even when it comes to kind of jealousy and envy, is that we can get curious about that. If you're jealous or envious of somebody else, then you can make it about them. It's not about them. It's a gift. Like, turn it back on yourself and go, what is it that I am doing or not doing that is having me feel that? It doesn't have to be this thing where you kind of lock in on yourself. It can actually be a case of, there's something they have that I want. So what is it that I'm not doing to have that? As opposed to tearing down that other woman because she's doing what you don't want to do. And in terms of kind of Instagram, social media, if someone's stuff doesn't resonate with you, just unfollow. It's not hard.
Take responsibility.
But don't take responsibility and be wise enough to know what, for whatever reason, right now that person is triggering me in not a good way. That's making me feel bad about myself. And right now I'm going to mute or I'm going to unfollow. That is fine. That is responsibility. That is ownership. That is wisdom. And it's definitely being present to how you feel.
I love it. It works. All of it.
I think it kind of works. It works.
Wisdom of the meditation that came in. Seriously, I'm like, it feels like the things just come to you and you listen because you're not trying to figure out what's perfect. You're just like, this is coming to me. This is coming out of me.
Yes.
And literally everything we've talked about, I'm like, oh, that's presence. Oh, that's ownership. Hey, that's person's ownership and responsibility.
Yeah, 100%. It's all there. And what's been beautiful for me about talking about the book and sharing the book is that, like you said, I keep seeing these mirrors. So I had someone say to me the other day, she goes, when I read the book, she said, I had this sense of power being a light. Whereas my experience before reading the book was one of darkness, which I think goes back to that form of power, the power over where we as women are kind of subjugated and it's oppressive. But suddenly she felt like the power that I gained from reading the book and the work that I've done through reading the book gave me a lightness, and I want to spread light. And that's what it gave her. Now, I wasn't writing it thinking this is a form of power that will give light to people.
Yeah.
But when she said that, I had that like, oh my gosh, wow.
See, when you do things like this, and the more you talk about it, and the more you share, and people ask you questions,
I'm learning. I learned about the book.
I learned my book more.
Yeah, because in some ways, I did feel this sense of I need to write this book, and I am so open and present to the gifts that other people are going to give me in what they get from it. Yeah.
The secondary part of when you said power, and I thought, oh, like Donald Trump. Yeah. And then you shared that. Then I was like, power, electricity, because I felt like energy. Yeah. So electricity, it's like you're powerful, you have energy, like you are alive.
And then if we add into that energy as in light, as in then illuminating oneself unapologetically, and then that light illuminates others. Because then what it says is, I want you to be in my presence unapologetically as yourself. You know, that you don't have to apologize to me for your presence and how that expression is. And I need for you to allow me to be in your presence unapologetically me. And I think one of the most powerful things we do as women is to be really mindful of who we surround ourselves with.
Yes.
And not because, you know, I think most of us want to be kind. Most of us want to be the best version of ourselves, but we're also on a journey. And sometimes people can't give us what we need. Yeah. That is fine. Let those people be on their journey, but also become the woman that you want to be surrounded by. I used to be a really big gossip. I used to be because it's kind of what I was raised in, that you just talk about other women. That's kind of what you do. Yep. God, it doesn't get more powerless than that for the other woman that you're speaking about, but also for you, because I would go home and think, feel like
yucky. Yeah. It's
like it kind of connected me to that person, the fact that we were kind of degrading this other woman, but I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a power move when I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah. I'm never, ever going to say anything negative about another woman unless I'm willing to say it to her face. And I only say it because it's about her growth. And not like I'm going to grow her. I don't mean it like that. Helpful. I mean, it's because I love her.
Yeah. 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 It's a helpful, it's hey, I want to support.
It's like, look, I love you. Yeah. And I've noticed something. Can I share this with you from a place of love?
Beautiful.
You know, it's not about me saying you need to know this. I'm going to be honest, because honesty can be carnage. Honesty is not always kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
There's this beautiful quote. It says, every action we take costs us something: time, resources, and life energy. And I'm like, energy.
Back to the electricity.
Yes. And every action we don't take also costs us time, resources, and life energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like, you may be around someone, doesn't feel good, and you stay, that's your energy. Yeah. It's not good for anybody.
No. And then you go away and you leave that person. Why did I feel like that? And you're thinking about them. Why did they say that? Why did they? That's energy. That's time. And it's, you know, I think about, you know, those of us that want to do things in the world, whatever that is, whether it's like you want to plant your first garden, or you want to write a book, or you want to have a child, or you don't want to have a child, and you're not owning that. I've worked with clients that don't want to have children. And I completely get that. And yet they don't own that for themselves. So they find themselves in family environments and stuff where when are you going to have kids? And they are unable to stand in their power and say, I am a woman of the 21st century and I have chosen that I do not want children. And I ask you to not ask me about it anymore. You know, that it is my life. So there are these different actions that we want to take, and yet we don't necessarily take them. If we don't take them, the energy is the regret. The energy is looking at other people going, well, it's all right for them, well, they could do it. That's energy. It's not a great energy, but it is an energy. Whereas taking the action, which is scary, which takes energy, which is vulnerable, which takes energy. And we just need to get to a point of like, what is the energy I'm willing to use on the actions I choose to or not take?
I want a horn. God, yeah, I think it's my nails. I don't actually think my skin's right.
Yeah, no, my gardening nails do not do that.
Gonna put some press on. I'm bad in the garden. I'll just get sand all over here.
It's not gonna work.
It's like I can't eat with these.
You can poke the vegetables with them. You could dig out probably like some carrots, baby carrots, with your nails, but that's about it.
We're gonna be gardening. It's next video. That's what we're gonna do.
Erica and Kemi in the garden.
God, we had like a TV show.
That would be hilarious.
That would be like, Erica, you can't be wearing them heels. You're stepping.
No,
you'd
have to wear the heels.
Zucchini.
Please wear the heels. You have to wear the heels.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm thinking now we're in wisdom. wisdom.
Are we going through them sequentially?
I'm going through.
I didn't even realize.
Do you see what I'm doing?
Okay.
No, behind
You've
the
got
scenes.
a whole thing.
Maybe.
Let's do
rewind.
wisdom.
Yeah, because I feel like for those of you listening or watching this, if you're struggling and you're like, I'm not in my power, and I want to name this episode Power because, power, how do you feel even listening to that? It's like, oh, what is that about?
Yeah.
Like, maybe we don't resonate with that word, like initially how we first said, like it feels like it's not outside of me. If we think about presence, we spoke about that. That's the first place, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that we it's not that we can't access, but that's the access point.
Yes, that's the access point. If we're not present to ourselves, how do we know what's going on? And
Exactly.
to have experiences of empathy and connection to others, we have to be present to others.
Yeah. And we got some ownership.
Yep. We've got some
So
ownership, owning our story unapologetically,
that.
who we
I
are,
love
where
that.
we've been.
Honor your story and it will honor you.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's so true.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's right about that. No, but seriously.
Yeah. But I know that because I used to try and hide my story.
Same.
Yeah.
Damn.
There you go.
So
I
behind
know
your
that
story.
if you honor your story, it honors you 100%. Yeah.
And then now wisdom.
Yeah.
My wisdom comes in the shower.
Yeah.
Shower wisdom.
Yeah.
But also, as you've been saying, experience, getting it wrong, going the wrong way, or I think the wrong way is the right way.
Yeah.
Right. But all of the things that you move through, where do you feel like your wisdom comes from?
Good question.
wisdom.
Where does my wisdom? I think it comes from all of that. You know, I think there's wisdom from lived experience. There's wisdom from making mistakes. There's wisdom from failure. And I have to say, I'm an advocate for failure. I am not there's no such thing as failure. There is failure and it can be heartbreaking and you are on your knees and you don't even know if you can get back up.
Yeah.
And it's okay to just experience failure as failure. We don't need to coat it in anything.
Yeah.
And then when we're ready, we will then pick ourselves
Get up.
up and we may learn what there was to learn from that failure.
Yeah.
But this idea of like, I don't believe in fact, for me personally, I don't agree with that. I think there is failure and we do fail and that is okay because it builds a sense of wisdom.
Yeah.
There's wisdom in being able to tap into this sense. You know, our gut intuition, there's only been one time in my life when I didn't follow my intuition. I was told very much. One time.
That's damn good.
Well, it was, I'll tell about it off mic.
Okay.
One time and I went against my intuition. It did not go well. And I just knew, don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again. And there have been times when, well, I know for myself that my wisdom is physiological. I feel it. I feel it in my gut. I just feel it. I know what it is I need to be doing or not doing. And then I'll bring it back up into my head. And that's when it goes, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, nah, sorry, back down.
Yeah.
What was the initial
Back to the
feeling?
presence.
What did I first feel? Because that's what I'm going to follow.
That's the thing, is the feeling.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
this
it is
will-
for me.
this will-
Well,
but it's-
some people, some people are, do actually process through their head, and that is fine.
Yeah.
Some people process in their heart, some people process in their gut. Like, I do believe that we have
three
different
brains,
centers.
yeah.
Yeah, the three brains. But that's the knowledge and that's being present. Where do I get my information from?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what we want to do, part of my coaching training was onological coaching, which means that we are, what we want is to integrate all three. Is to integrate all three. So it's not just going with the gut, just going with the heart, or just going with the head. It's actually, okay, I felt it in my gut first. And for me, it then goes up to my head. So then there are questions around, okay, well, let's look at this logistically and, let's look at this strategically, maybe. And then it's, how do you feel?
Yeah.
What does your heart say about this? So then that can give me the information. But for me, my lead point is my gut.
Yeah.
For other people, it could be somewhere else, but understand where that is. Get wise about where that is.
Yeah, I like that. I think mine starts in the head.
Yeah, okay.
And then I go,
There. Yeah.
And then it's like, let's do this. Don't walk down that alleyway. Okay. We kick someone's ass. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to, whose ass are you kicking?
I don't know.
I'm
Down the
not kicking
alleyway.
anyone. What
Someone.
alleyway?
No. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It is not
trusting.
wise to kick people's asses.
And go down dark
Don't do
alleyways.
that.
Okay.
Don't do that. I'm not
recommending-
advocating.
I'll be
not
by
advocating.
myself up there going, hey.
But I support you to do that.
You go,
If
girl.
wanna do-
I'll watch your
I'll be
story.
here. You go. You go.
We don't fight anymore, okay? Juanita, we left Juanita in the hood. That's my
there
alter
you
ego. She's
awesome.
I need her sometimes to be like,
and
let's
you
go.
needed her.
Yes.
You
And
needed her.
she's here.
Yeah.
She's here.
Yeah.
But I feel very juvenile if I pull her out now. I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't need her to
We
deal
don't
with
need her
that.
right now.
Some kindness. Okay, so when you think of wisdom, if you're listening to this or watching us, what comes to mind? Because when you said wisdom initially, when we were breaking it down, I thought about old. I thought about age. I thought about age.
yeah.
And I was like, That's not.
It's not the only one.
Yeah,
There
but
are
also it's
lots.
not necessarily true because you could be.
You can be young and have wisdom. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I was going to say you could be older and not really have learned things and known things and know that
100%,
you know things.
100%. It's not about age. Wisdom is not about age. And yet, what age does give us is lived experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay.
Yeah. Equality.
Yes. I opened the book before we started recording, and I opened the book, and I'm going to just trust the process, and you guys are going to be with me. The Power of Race. Is it in there?
Yeah. It's in wisdom. Is it? No, it's in equality.
Equality.
Yeah.
Anyway, I opened the book, and there was a beautiful, if you could share a little bit, yes, The Power of My Blackness on page 231. And I was like, literally chills on my fingertips, on my toes, everywhere. I was like, ooh, this, and it opened to this. Can you talk about equality? And then I would love if you could share that, a little snippet of that story.
Okay. Yep, I can share a little bit of the story. So the power of my blackness so first of all, equality, when I break it down in the power principle, it is about us contributing to global inequality in any way that we can as individuals. I'm not into shaming people. You contribute where you want. If your heart is pulled towards saving the puppies of the world, do that. If your heart is pulled towards education, do that. None of us can do all the things. We don't have the capacity. But I think the equality that we miss a lot is the equality that we have within ourselves, that we are all equal as humans. I'm not talking about resources. I'm talking about our humanity.
Yes.
So I share in the book, I've had, incredible opportunities where I have been on, Necker Island with Richard Branson, talking to him, eating pineapple for breakfast together. And I've been in villages in Uganda talking to leaders around how they are supporting each other to get themselves out of hunger. I have been homeless on the street. I know that you have had situations like that too. Sorry, I have been homeless, not on the street, but I have been homeless. But I was raised to believe that homeless people were less than other people, that they brought it on themselves, that they should this. So unequal, that I was, because I had a roof, somehow I was better, that I was more. And so when I talk about this that kind of sense of inner equality, for me as a Black person navigating the world, and look, I would have a different experience if I lived in Nigeria, which is my heritage country, but I didn't. I was brought up in 1970s and 80s England, and I was a foster child. So my level of equality, non-existent. It was made very clear to me from a very young age, you are less than, and you are very lucky that you get to be raised by white people. You're one of the blessed ones. So I just took that on. Yeah. I just believe that. And that's where my niceness and my goodness and all of that came from. What I've had to learn for myself is no, actually, I am equal in my humanity to everybody else. So when the Black Lives Matter erupted in 2020, and I say erupted because for those of us that walk in, non-Anglo skin, it wasn't a new thing.
Yeah.
That was just a lived daily experience. But when it erupted on the global scale, I found myself speechless. I'm happy to read a little bit from the beginning of it, if you can find it again, because it just kind of speaks to what, there you go, you have it. It took me a while to know what it was I wanted to say. As someone that has lived with racism all my life, and I was surprised that I had no words, because suddenly there was a platform and I knew I could be heard, but I had no words. And it was a Black psychologist that I heard, I think on Instagram or something, that said, for those of us that are walking the world as Black people, we need to look after our well-being. And because well-being is a core value for me, I knew I'm just going to take my time out. Went back to the garden, did a lot of running, just spent time on myself, and then this is what came. So I won't read the whole thing, but I decided that social media was not the place that I wanted to share this. I've been writing for my community through my newsletter every week at 8 a.m. on a Friday for 9 years. And I thought that is where I feel safe enough to write these words. So this is a little bit of that. It is called I Am Black. I have few words to describe what is going on in the world right now. I do not watch the news, so I have no images. I don't need to, and I'm not a fan of murder or brutality porn. As a Black woman who was born in England in 1974, I was a minority by birth. I was raised by 5 sets of white foster parents. I chose to move to Australia, where I am a minority by choice. I married a white man and have children who are biracial. The weight that you may be feeling now, I have felt for at least 42 of my 47 years. Those of us who live as minorities were not shocked by the death of George Floyd, nor by the death of Tanya Day here in Australia. When you live it, you are not shocked. I am emotionally exhausted and heartbroken. If you are a person of colour reading this, I know that you have had to hide, soften, or polish your story, or have been made to question your lived experiences of racism to make others comfortable. I know because I have had to do this. And it goes on. But I know that for you, you felt that, but I shared with you that what happened once I wrote that and I shared that is that then my husband, who has always written me handwritten letters, we both write letters. Yeah, always.
Wow.
But he's never written me a letter like this, and I just read a little bit about what my husband wrote. So I posted that on the Friday, and on the Saturday morning I woke up, and actually he was sat at the kitchen table, and I could see that he'd been crying, and he handed me this handwritten letter.
See?
My dear Kemi, I am, always have been, and always will be white. People see me and immediately know that I can be trusted, believed, adored, that I am worthy of attention, that I am one of the club, the family, that they can be candid, can tell old school jokes, that I can keep secrets, that I am the one who belongs to the real order automatically, that I sailed the seas and conquered, and slaved and earned my place with them at the top, that I deserve genetically or by God-given right to belong with them in the middle at the top, in the right suburbs, at the right schools, in Parliament and the courts and the clubs, and I am suitable, appropriate, necessary, that I belong anywhere, that I can do everything or anything or not as I choose, that I am right, able and authoritative. All of that from one glance, one impression, just of how I look.
He needs to write a book. Wow, he's amazing.
Oh, he's a great writer. And I find it so, because in him writing that to me, well, it's just, we've been together for 20 years. He's experienced what I've had to experience. It was a gift, him writing that letter to me. And what was beautiful was that when I shared that, because then I posted that the next week, just called A Letter from My Husband. And I had people, so many people say, can I share that with my parents? People, that walk in the world as white people. Oh my God, he's managed to put into words that I've never been able to put into words. Or now I understand privilege and I don't need to feel guilty about it. It just has given me this access to what it is, because some people, they're like, I've never been in this conversation. I don't really know what it means. I'm scared. I don't want to do or say the right thing. Yeah. And his generosity of that letter, I just think opened up for a lot of white people, not from a place of blame or aggression, but just like, oh my God, I get it. I get it. That my privilege, I didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
And yet it gives me access to things that some people will never, ever have access to.
That is like, when I opened this up and I started reading his words, I was just like, I would wanted to cry. It was just like, first of all, did you cry? Because I would have been like,
doing the audio version of it, it's like we had to. I've never read it. I even just felt I've never read that letter and not cried. And in the audio version of the book, I said to the technicians, I said, look, this is they said, yeah, of course, this is a tough one. And I haven't heard the audio yet, but I know that there's emotion in there, and that is fine, because that's great. That's me being unapologetically, this touches me. Yeah. This touches me as someone, in some ways, my husband epitomizes that form of power that most of us recognize. Yeah. And he's a barrister, like he's a lawyer, so he's up in the upper echelons in many ways. And yet I fell in love with this man because of this. Yeah, because he's willing to be present to who I am and my experience.
That's really beautiful that you shared that in your book as well.
Yeah, I wanted to.
Very, I'll bring you into this
100%,
experience.
100%.
Get the book right now. Go on Amazon.
Now that I've read this a little bit, do you know what I would like to do? I just want to read the dedication.
Oh,
is that okay?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is...
Okay.
Hold on.
This book is dedicated to any woman who has ever felt powerless, overlooked, unworthy. Any woman who is yet to step into her full power. Any woman seeking to make a greater impact. Any woman seeking to lead. Any woman striving for an empowered life. For women of every race, colour, age, creed, orientation, identification and ability. This book is for you. This book is for us.
Had to get it for the gram, because that was, this is what we do. We garden and we gram, okay? Kemi, this book is beautiful. This is like your...
Yeah, look, it's... I don't have words because...
Tell me.
I don't know, just reading that dedication... I just think it's I feel incredibly blessed that I got to write this book and put these words down, and I want this book to give us all permission to stand in the world as women, regardless of where we came from, that we have an innate power that we can build for ourselves and own for ourselves, and that we can support that and hold that for each other when we forget. And I'm excited. I'm excited about when people read this book and what they get, and I'm excited about hearing from them. We're good.
No, okay. Cry proudly. We love it.
Oh, cry proudly.
Yeah, I know.
I love that.
Please take it.
No, I'm going to keep the tears.
Okay, good.
They're here. This is what's here.
Yes.
So yes, it's and I want to share around tears as well, and just that vulnerability of tears is that when I had a conversation with my publisher, so you have these meetings, and this, I'm so blessed for my publishing team, and I had my first meeting, and it was all the different salespeople within the organisation, and they read the book and wanted to talk to me about the book, and wanting to share it with other people. And I looked at the Zoom screen, and my publisher introduced me, and there were 14 women on that screen, and my publisher was introducing me and who I was in the book and why she was excited about this book. And as she was talking, introducing me, I just felt this emotion come up.
Yeah, that's.
And I saw these women, and she said, "And over to you, Kemi." And the first thing I did, I just burst into tears, because I just had this mirror, because the women started sharing what they had got from the book. And I just knew that the little girl in me that was scared to be anywhere, that I had now created something that had these other women want to step into their power to share the book. And it, I just went with it. I just said to them, "Oh, here we are." And I was raised to not have feelings. So this is what my power looks like right now, that I have feelings and that I take ownership of them.
You know that when you read the dedication and it brings it up, it's like,
yeah,
this is your freaking heart and soul for the women of the world.
Yeah.
And I would have done the same thing. 14 women looking back at you, telling you about the book that you just wrote about. That's
Yeah.
When we spoke before, it was like, there's a lot in this book.
Yeah.
There's so much. Oh, God. We're laughing, we're crying, we're gardening.
It's all here.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, when
Erica.
I love you, I thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Like, that's real. That's owning. That's freaking presence. That's being. That's your wisdom.
And that's connection, because we have a friendship, and because I know you know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I know that you have had those times where you have felt powerless, and I know that you have not felt seen, and all of that. I know. Yeah.
We're not perfect. Fucking throw tissues. I'm laughing with tears in my eyes because it's true. Like,
Okay. Is our time here done?
No. One more. I'm gonna cry again. Oh, okay. I love this, and we can end with this. But you are the builder of your power.
I talk in the book that we can imagine that our power is a wall, and that to form a wall, we need bricks. And our bricks are formed from our lived experiences, where we were born, everything that we have. But bricks need mortar, and our mortar is our values. And that there are times as we build this wall of power in our life, and I don't mean an external wall that doesn't let people in, I mean within us, that holds us, that it's our foundation. That there are times in our life when our bricks are going to fall out of the wall because of where we are or what happens, and there are times that our wall is going to be literally aggressively on purpose knocked down, because that happens all the time. And there are going to be times as women, because we are smart and we are strategic, that we will give our power away. We will give our bricks away, and we will give away our mortar, because we know that's the only way we can survive in that environment. But the beautiful thing about being the builder of our power is that if our wall gets knocked down, we built the bricks and we created the mortar, and we just keep on building. And where community comes in is that if we don't have the mortar and we've forgotten, then that is when we get other women in and say, "I need you to help me build my power back up again."
Build the community you can serve and nourish, and that will serve and nourish you in return. That is it.
That is it.
And you are just one of those women for me. So thank you for being who you are. I love you.
I love you too.
I'm really proud of you. This is fucking amazing. This is amazing.
Thank you.
you for this book. It's going to impact thousands and thousands and thousands and hopefully millions of women around the world. And I can't wait to listen to the audiobook because I'm going to cry when I read your husband's letter and your dedication. Shit. This has been the best podcast episode ever. Oh my gosh. I love you. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for doing the work as well. Your work.
Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for doing the work.
We love you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Get the book. We're going to tag everything below. Wiping our tears over here. Honestly, Kemi, there are women, and watch, okay, on Instagram, go on Kemi's Instagram, go on our Instagram. There are women around the world, and definitely around Australia, because this tour is coming, that are going to be tagging this incredible woman, and they're going to be shouting from the rooftops how much you need to get this book because we love her, because she's made such an impact. And so I hope that you get excited and you feel all the love and the power back to you for when everybody starts getting their books.
Thank you. Well, this is what excites me, that this is going to be our collective power. This is going to be it. The woman that's like, I had that conversation, or I said to that person, no, this is not okay anymore. Or the woman that decided, I am going to follow my dreams. I don't need to wait for permission. And then when we start then supporting each other to do that, I'm so excited for this time for women.
The trickle is going to be amazing. So tell us, people are going to be obsessed. How can they find you? How can they buy the book? Where can we go? And when's the audio coming out?
People can find me in their garden, and I'm not giving you my garden. You can find me there. You can find me. I'm Kemi Nekvapil everywhere. So that's KemiNekvapil. And I know that you'll have that there.
We'll have it there.
So that's me on Instagram. Come and say hello. KemiNekvapil.com is my website. Come and say hello. Share with me what you get from the book. And
they can get
I
it
look
on the
forward to
website?
hearing from you. And they can get it. Well, you can get it on all the bookstores.
You can get it everywhere.
So look, in Australia, Booktopia is great. If you're not in Australia, Amazon works. Local bookshops, obviously, support your local bookshop owners.
Yes, and if they don't have it, ask them to order it, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And there's a little download that you're giving everyone. Not little.
Yeah, there are free resources.
Look at this.
Yeah.
There's a little download. There's a little link in the tiny show notes with a big, amazing resource.
There are some resources that come with the book as well that will help. Some of the quotes that Erica's read out, actually. And then there's like a mini 7-day power project that you can take yourself on. And there's another little resource as well, which is the principles broken down into a poster.
So click in the show notes. We're going to share everything. Kemi, I love you. Thank you so much for this book. Thank you for being here. Go get it. Power is out now. Yo. Thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your ears, your time, your energy, and your attention. Please do me a favor and head over to Apple iTunes. Subscribe so that you don't miss an episode. Share this episode with a sister who you know needs to hear it. And if you feel called to, leave me a review. I'd love to know what you think about the podcast. I'd love to know how this information is helping you change your world. Thank you so much for being here. I know that there are many podcasts you could listen to, and I really appreciate you listening to mine. Have a gorgeous week, honey.